What's good, everybody? It's the Cloudwood Cam Show. We got UFC 261. I am so glad Usman and Masvidal are rematching. I think this is going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be one for the ages. Obviously, they fought about 8 or 9 months ago, and Usman got the best of them. He kind of, stood up in there with them for a while. Then he finally was like, you know what, I want to take him down. But Masvidal, I will give him credit when credit is due. He did some good ground game. I mean, Usman did get him down, but he got right back up. To whereas a lot of opponents who fight Usman, when they get to the ground, they stay on the ground the whole time. But Masvidal did not do that. I like Masvidal. I like his story. I like Usman's story. I think they're both inspiring when we look at where they started from to where they're at right now. It's amazing. And that's what makes sense why people want to come to America. Because it's a land of opportunity, land of freedom. That's what I think about it. But, these guys that have so much personality, and that's why I think UFC 261 is really going to be a big-time hit. I really do. It's finally going to be fans back. I think this is great for the UFC and what it's going to be doing. And, yes, I understand Masvidal lost back in UFC 251. But if Masvidal wins this fight, it's going to be by knockout or TKO. Masvidal's going to have to keep his distance. If you want to beat Usman, don't let him take you down. Don't let him put you up against the cage and control the fight. Okay, now if you're Usman, you're going to kind of go into the same mentality of where, hey, we're going to put him up against the cage. We're going to get Masvidal uncomfortable when he's inside the octagon. That's what Usman needs to do and take him down. But if Usman keeps this fight standing and is unable to take Masvidal down, I really do think, Masvidal does have a good shot. I really do, and Usman only has one loss of his whole career. Now, we've seen Masvidal, he started off pretty slow as a career. He's 35-14 overall. But look, started off fighting in the backyards with Kimbo Slice. I mean, that's his story, fighting all the way up to this point, 16 years later. Now he's fighting for the UFC welterweight championship belt right now. He already has the BMF belt, the bad motherfucker belt. We know that, but look, dude, I love this fight. I really do. Styles make fights. If Usman sticks to the script, gets him down, he will win by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Masvidal. I think Masvidal really is a goon. He's a warrior. These guys are obviously both warriors. Usman's a champion. Hats off to him. But, I know recently at 251, I was like, you know what? I kind of like Masvidal. But, looking at it right now, at both camps, I really think, what Masvidal's saying in his interviews, saying everything right, I really think Masvidal could really get Usman here. I think, if he wins, he's going to have to connect a lot of big shots on Usman. And we've seen Usman take some big shots, kind of get a little limp, but not really hit the canvas like that. So to me, Masvidal, if he wants to baptize like he's been baptizing Ben Askren, Till, those guys, I really do think that could come out of him. I think Styles make fights. I think this is going to be a lot closer fight than a lot of experts are saying that, like, Usman's going to run away with it. He's going to do this and that, do what he wants. But I think Masvidal, if he stays on his feet, continues to move, hit and move, continue to do that and repeat it, I think he's got a big shot here, dude. I really do. Masvidal has to understand, look, if I get to the ground, I'm screwed. And wrestling is a big win formula in the UFC. But if you're unable to wrestle and unable to take your opponent down, that's another component as well. I think that's what makes the UFC, MMA, mixed martial arts great, because it's just so many different things to win. You don't have to win just taking them down and wrestling them. You don't have to win just by submission. There's so many different ways you can win. Obviously, you can win by those, submission, knockout, all types of stuff, just controlling the whole fight on the ground, on the cage. But I think, if Masvidal does not let Usman control the pace, control the tempo, I really do think Masvidal can come out victorious in this. I really do. I think this would be a huge thing for his career. Obviously, hats off to Usman. He's the champion right now, and I believe this is his 4th time defending his title. So this is going to be great. I cannot wait for that main fight. Then we got Zhang versus Rosie. Rosie, one of my favorite fighters. She's really small, but she has a big heart. She's 10-4 her whole career. She's a former UFC strawweight women's champion. To me, I believe she won that back in 2017, 2018, somewhere around that time. She ended up losing it, but I'm telling you what, Zhang is a crazy son of a gun. Let me tell you right now, she's won 21 straight fights. Her first UFC debut is the only fight she's lost, and ever since then, she's never looked back. She's won 21 straight. She's a killer, dude. She can do all types of things. She's current the UFC strawweight women's champion right now. Okay, so Zhang, she brings it, dude. And like I said, 21 fights in a row, that's no joke at all. So to me, losing her first fight was probably the best thing for her in her career, right? Taking that L and then just saying, no, I'm never taking an L again. She's continued to climb. Now she's champion. But for me, Rosie, if she wins this fight, she's going to have to stick and move, really use her hands and leg kicks. If she can catch her with maybe a head kick or a leg kick to the ribs or even the head, to knock her out, I think she has a chance, but obviously I'm leaning more towards Zhang. Just her whole resume speaks for itself. 21 wins. She's a former champion right now. She's the current champion, excuse me. Rosie's the former champion, so I think this is going to be a fight, a great fight. Styles make fights, and I think it's really a coin flip. The fan side of me is rooting for Rosie, but, obviously, Zhang right now, I think she's a complete fighter. I really do, just looking at her composed, focused in, really not buying into all that hype. So to me, I'm not saying Rosie is either, but, I'm going to go Zhang on this one. I'm going to go Zhang. Maybe it'll be a decision. I would love to see the upset, but I'm going with Zhang. And then we got Valentina versus Jessica. This is going to be another crazy fight. Valentina, she's a beast, dude. She's 20-3, her MMA record. She's the flyweight champion right now. She's a kickboxer, excellent kickboxer, excellent striker. We've seen her fight some of the women greats. To me, I really think, Jessica, she's in for one, right? Right now, she's ranked number 5 pound for pound in the women's pound for pound right now. So that's great as well. She's a former strawweight champion as well. So Jessica knows the ropes, but I think Valentina, she has a better skill-wise. Right now, she is the champion. She is the one to beat. So to me, it's going to be interesting. The challengers, they got a big, big climb at UFC 261. They really do. And I cannot wait. And I think, like I said before, that the UFC right now, they are continuing to grow, the fan base continues to keep climbing, dude. Not just here in America. We're talking global scale. And I do believe in the next 10 years, UFC will be just as big as the NFL and NBA. I really do. They're leaning more towards that, and I cannot wait. But I'm going to go Valentina in this one over Jessica. I think she might connect and maybe knock her out. So I'm going to go Valentina. And then we got Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman. You guys remember Chris Weidman? He knocked out Anderson Silva when Anderson Silva was showboated in that scenario where if Anderson Silva would have been humbled, that situation never would have happened. He never would have got knocked out by Chris and all this. But look, obviously, Raya, he is a kickboxer. He can bring it. He's 17-9 in his career. But Chris Weidman, he's a former middleweight champion, dude. Like I said, his biggest bait was definitely Anderson Silva when Anderson Silva was getting towards the end of his career, but that's nothing to take away from Chris. I think Chris wins this if he stays smart. I think if he takes Uriah down, because obviously Uriah, a kickboxer, striker, he's going to want to stand with him. He's going to want to stand up. So to me, I think Chris needs to take him down, use some ground and pound, mix it up. Get him against the cage, throw some strikes, throw some leg kicks, mix it up. But I'm going to go Weidman here with the victory. He's already barking orders at Adesanya. I don't think that's really going to be good. Adesanya is the king at 185. So to me, that would be a bad decision. But you never know. But I'm definitely going to go Adesanya if Chris ends up winning this fight and fights Adesanya in the future. But who knows what happens. Then we got Anthony Smith versus Jimmy. Jimmy, he's a young cat, 25. He's 12-1. Anthony Smith, he's a vet. He's been in the UFC. Hats off to him. He's a vet. 34-16 in his career. One of his best wins was against Rashad Evans at UFC 225. Anthony Smith brings it, man. He's got the dog in him. He really does. He can wrestle you. He can strike with you. He can really do anything with you. And I think in this fight with Jimmy, I think he's going to strike with him. He's going to strike with him. I don't think he really wants to go to the ground, but really it's all what Anthony Smith wants to do in this fight. I think he controls it. Anthony Smith, he's a vet, dude. He's been around for so long, so I'm not really concerned about, he could have ring rust or whatever. But I think, Anthony Smith beats Jimmy, but Jimmy's a new cat coming in, he's a jiu-jitsu guy, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. obviously good in the ground. But to me, I'm going Anthony Smith by knockout. I think he knocks this guy out. Young cat. You never know, though. The UFC, you just never know. It's great. UFC 261. I cannot wait. Back to the main fight, Usman and Masvidal. I love this, dude. I really do. I think this is great for UFC fans across the world right now. This is a huge fight. Then obviously Zhang and Rosie right after that, right before the main fight. But, back to Usman. Look, Usman, he said, the way I want to do it is the way I want to do it. And hats off to Usman. He's a champion. So he can really say what he wants to say. He can say he's going to control the fight. He can say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Masvidal can say what he's going to say. But when they get in that octagon, it's different, right? Than just saying, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And I understand some UFC fighters are accurate. We've seen McGregor's post-fights, pre-fight interviews saying he's going to knock him out, and he does. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But to me, I really think Usman and Masvidal, they don't like each other. And I think whoever the winner of these two right now is going to fight Colby Covington. And I think that's great. Give credit what credit is due. And I know a lot of people hate on Colby Covington. He's got heart, though. And he fought Usman, and there were some iffy, questionable plays by the referee, calls, or if you want to say, stoppage, or where they just paused the fight for a minute. I think if Usman and Colby Covington do a rematch, I think it's going to be another great one. I really do. Honestly, I really do. But as Masvidal wins, the sky's the limit for Masvidal. It really is. And his career is really, he's just started to blow up a couple years ago. He's 36 now. To me, I think this is going to be a huge thing if he beats Usman. I think we'll see a round 3. We heard Masvidal said if he does win this fight, UFC 261, he will say, yeah, Usman gave me a shot at the second time. Why not give him another shot at the third time, the rubber match? So I think that'll be great. But I think Usman wins if he continues to do what he's continued to do. Throw a jab. I swear, Usman's jab is so underrated. And when fighters underestimate you, that's when it bites you. So, for Masvidal, he can't just go in and say, oh, I'm going to outstrike him, 0 to 100. That's not going to happen. Usman really does have some nice striking game. He's known for his grappling. I get that. But his jab is really underrated, dude. His jab is just a quick snap, dude. You can't even see it coming. Really, though. I like that about Usman. So, Masvidal's going to have his hands full. There's no more excuses on a 6-day camp and losing, 20 to 30 pounds, all this stuff. But look, this is what the fans are back. This is where Masvidal, these strikers, they like that, right? They want the fans. They want the excitement. They want to sell tickets, dude. They want to sell pay-per-views. And I think that's great. The UFC, it's going to continue to grow. It really is. We still have John Jones. And dude, we have so many more fights to come in the future. It's going to be great. But I think this Usman and Masvidal is going to be an epic fight. I think it's going to go all 5 rounds. I really do, unless Masvidal knocks him out or something crazy happens. But, I'm leaning more towards Masvidal. I might be wrong. I might be wrong against Usman, but I think if Masvidal doesn't let him take him down, it's over for Usman. His reign is over, but, it's going to be great. So, UFC 261, baby. Let's go. It's the Cloud of Gab Show.